All right, Kid Rock, he's known for his music, his outspoken political views, his outspoken views on everything. He's absolutely fearless when it comes to woke cancel culture. He calls himself uncancelable. How you doing? Great to see you. You hurt your wrist. I didn't realize that was a wrist thing, man. First, let me get to this issue. You are uncancelable. You don't give a flying rip. And
we say it a little different than rip, but that is correct.
Well, I mean, I can't say it. I mean, I just say it differently. I call it Adam Schiff. I go, you don't give a shit.
I'm just not in bed with any corporate entities, where that would put me in a position where people could raise a stink. And I decided years ago, I've been very blessed. I've worked hard and still be able to do this at a high level in 25 years. And I decided when I was going to get, vocal about all things, like it's not a time I have never been vocal. I came out with middle fingers on my first CD, with my mouth just going like this. And I really haven't changed. The times have.
Right.
But I decided when I was really going to get vocal, surely for my love of this country and use my voice, speak on things that mean a lot to me, that there wasn't going to be any corporate deals. And I'm fine with that because, I've always tried to live that there's no dollar amount on this God's green earth that would get me to, not be able to be who I am.
But I think people love you more because of it.
I hope so.
All right. So,
I turned down a lot of money for it.
I'm a huge fan of Dana White. I saw you with President Trump and Dana and Tucker, and you guys all went to the MMA, what was it, the Garden?
UFC,
right?
yeah.
UFC.
Garden.
All right. So he was on this show.
I saw.
And it was about Bud Light.
Here we go.
he took on as a sponsor. Now, I'll tell you why I've never in my whole life ever supported a boycott. I've never called for a firing or a cancellation, ever. I mean, even people that I can't stand, like Bill.
By the way, I didn't either.
Yeah, okay. So what I worried about in that case was the guys that have the beer
working
routes.
Class people.
Right, the guys that work in the factory, the guys that load the trucks, they're not the guys that made that stupid,
Oh, they had no dog in this fight at all. It's actually funny. Speaking of that UFC fight, I'm standing there with our favorite president.
Right.
And someone comes over to, like, the CEO of Anhueser Busch standing right behind you.
Right.
So I go to the POTUS. I'm like, hey, that's the CEO of Anhueser Busch. Trump's like, you want to go talk to him? I'm like, I do. So me and him go over. We actually had a great conversation.
Really?
Because, if you put this in context, why did this start? It's like, I told him that night, I go, you signaled to a lot of people like myself, like-minded people. Put the trans thing aside for a minute, right? I was like, but by sending that can to the trans kid, you kind of signaled to us you support this lifestyle, and more importantly, like men being in women's sports or in my granddaughter's locker room. Most of us draw a hard line right there. No. What are you doing?
You have a granddaughter? You're like 40,
2 grandkids.
You're like 42 years old. Well, go ahead.
It gets cold in Detroit, Sean.
Yeah, I guess it does.
So I said, you signaled that to us. I said, but speaking of, I was like, if someone wants to be trans, I was like, I didn't rip that kid. I said, F you guys. I said, I didn't even say boycott or cancel. I said, F you. I said, what are you doing? Injecting yourself into this conversation, these polarizing social issues. I was like, you could be doing so much more positive stuff, just making us laugh and drink beer. But I said, if someone wants to dress up like a girl, they want to be transgender or whatever, a lot of people fought and died for them to do that. Go for it. We can coexist. In public places, you might not be my first dinner invite, you know what I mean? And I'm probably not yours. And if you're gay, no one cares anymore, right? We all got gay family members, gay friends, gay co-workers. It's like, cut it out. Just be gay. I'm not going to clap louder for you.
You know what I hear you saying? You believe in freedom.
Yeah.
But if you want to indoctrinate kids in school,
that's what I tell my. Let me say this to the trans and gay community right now. Be yourself. That's cool. You're cool with me. I'm cool with you. That's how most people are. But as soon as you bring our kids into this, that's where you're going to bring hatred into it. Leave our freaking kids out of it. That's the bottom line.
How about parents instill the values in their own kids?
Yeah.
That's it.
Pretty simple. I mean,
all right. I want to get back into the Bud thing a little bit. I want one specific question. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming.
Like and subscribe. It's free. Hit the notification bell for future videos. Thanks for watching.